There are a few controversies that surround SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, ranging from the bundles being a scam and moments of unpolishedness. But by far the most interesting controversy in my opinion that surrounds this game is what it is at heart. A lot of people in the SpongeBob community are arguing whether that this is a remaster or a full-on remake. There are hints of it going both ways. Even though THQ Nordic has confirmed that this is indeed a remake, we're going to find out for ourselves whether that is true or if this is just a remaster. With that being said, let's begin the analysis. Before we can analyze this game and define whether it is a remaster or a remake, we first have to figure out what a remaster and a remake is. A video game remaster is taking an old video game and enhancing its older graphics by changing the effects, textures, and making the resolution higher. A video game remake is taking an old video game and remaking it from the ground up in a completely different video game engine. Now there are two different things a remake can do. A remake can A, remake every asset from the ground up but keep the experience extremely faithful, or B, be disguised as remakes when in reality they are brand new games that are based off of these older experiences. I bring this up because there are a lot of people who think that the experience would have to be completely changed for a game to be considered a remake, when in reality that is not true. The game can still remain extremely faithful, just have the game completely remade in a different engine and have everything be spiced up. If you want to learn more about the differences between remasters and remakes, I recommend you check out Scott the Waz's video on the topic. He also added some funny moments to there that will make you have a good laugh. So with that being said, let's dive into Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated and find out whether it's a remaster or a full-on remake. One of the most important factors in a remake/remaster is the graphics. As I said earlier, the graphics are pretty much the only things that are changed with a remaster. With a remake, it changes more than the graphics, but you have to look at the graphics to assume for yourself. Most of the time, it's very easy to determine a remaster or a remake with the graphics alone, as all a remaster does is take the old graphics and enhance them. But as we've seen on many occasions, with Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, that just simply isn't the case. There are a lot of things, not even a lot of things, pretty much everything. Every graphic in this game has been remade. Everything from the grass to the pause screen to the shiny objects to the underwear, everything that you see on screen has been remade from the original. Being in a new video game engine, that's usually the case. With that being said, the graphics in this game, we can officially consider them to be remade. When it comes to the music in remakes and remasters, it can be a little difficult to determine. Usually with a remaster, you often just hear the same music heard in the game, with maybe a different audio style, like instead of using mono, it may use stereo, but with remakes, you probably will hear it be orchestra style instead of being done digitally, or it'll just be done digitally again, but in a more stylish fashion. Take the Crash and Spyro remakes for example. They have the same music, but it's remade in a more catchier and a more technoism beat. Alright, enough with all the rock music, let's return to the music that is Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. And with just about every trailer we received of the game up until this point, the music that has accompanied them are actually the remastered tracks that will be featured in the game. And by remastered, I mean that they're going to be in a different audio format, being stereo rather than mono. So that ultimately means that the music in this game has been just remastered and not remade. But it's okay because it never needed to be remade. The soundtrack in this game is so good. The next category we have is claims, and THQ Nordic has claimed that this is a remake, so we can move on, yay! Okay, not yet, there are a few things I want to address first. Despite THQ Nordic stating on multiple occasions that the game is indeed a remake, there are still some people who will argue with you saying that it is a remaster, and that whether you agree with them or not, that is only the case. But we know those people are just looking at it objectively and not deeply looking at it like yours truly. I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, if I had to be honest, I do kind of agree with them in some way. They do have their points on saying that the game is just a remaster. But the original publisher says that it is a remake, so therefore it wins the remake by default. So claims say that it is a remake. The presentation shouldn't be too hard to determine, since we have seen a lot of it in the trailers of the game. Specifically, the voice acting and the story. The story is kept literally the exact same, nothing was changed. And the voice acting, while it has higher quality, there were no re-recordings, and more importantly, there were no lines with Clancy Brown as Mr. Krabs. Hold on guys, I need a few minutes. Alright y'all, I'm good now. But in all seriousness, for the modern generation, the presentation has been spruced up, but it hasn't been really remade. And I can see why. They're trying to aim for that nostalgia factor. With that being said, the presentation overall has been remastered, you know, like minus the graphics, but like that has its own category, so we don't need to talk about that. And the final category we will be looking at is gameplay, and to be honest with you guys, I can sum up this whole category in 3 words. Unreal Engine 4. This is really all I needed to bring up in this whole video to prove that this game is a remake and not a remaster. Is that this game was made in a different engine. It's not in renderware, it's in Unreal Engine 4. So I don't know why some of you guys are thinking that it is a remaster when you clearly haven't paid attention to the video game engines. Literally, I could just literally just bring up the words Unreal Engine 4 and have that be the whole video. But, well, I guess I should just have this in here that a video game engine is one huge crucial factor that determines the entirety of a video game's remake or remaster. So the fact that it's an Unreal Engine 4, that itself just gives it all the points. Well, we're just going to give it 1 extra point because of the style of the video. So with that being said, we all can finally, hopefully agree, hopefully there won't be a war in the comment section, that Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated at the end of the day is a remake that is faithful to the original. And that is the end of the analysis, everyone. Now, if there's one thing I want you to know, is that it really shouldn't matter what this game is called at the end of the day. If you want to call it a remaster, then you can call it a remaster. If you want to call it a remake, then call it a remake. It really shouldn't matter what this game is referred to as, because when it comes out, I'm sure most of us are going to love it. But this game is not for everybody, so if you haven't played the original and you try it and you don't like it, don't be afraid to give your opinion out, because this game isn't for everybody. No game is for everybody. Just keep that in mind. I know some of you might be thinking, well, if it doesn't matter, then why did you make this video at all? Well, I haven't really made a Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated video in a while, so this may or may not have been an excuse for that. But in all seriousness though, you can call it whatever you want, and you can have whatever thoughts on it you want. If you don't like it, then you don't have to like it. It doesn't bother me. It shouldn't bother anybody. With that being said, even though this video really was pointless, I want to ask, do you guys want me to look at other re-releases of games and determine whether are remasters or remakes, even though it's kind of useless too, just for the fun of it? I'm thinking about stuff like Third Strike Online Edition maybe. If you guys want me to do that, then let me know down below. I would love to hear you guys' suggestions. So yeah, at the end of the day, even though Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated has been remade from the ground up, you can still call it a remaster. It shouldn't really bother anybody who calls it a remaster or a remake. With that being said, I hope you all have a good day, and I hope you all enjoy Rehydrated just as much as we did with the original all the years ago. With that being said, thank you all for watching, and we YouTuber out, y'all. Peace! Despite THQ Nordic stating